Hello there everybody, this is Reggie Time here again with episode 28 of my 13L Snap series, and I've actually got some topics that I want to talk about during the quiet spots in the video today. Things that I've been talking about with the players that I work with lately, issues that they've had. Some of them are quite counterintuitive things, and I think the problems that I've personally experienced during my poker life, and the problems that players that I'm working with are currently experiencing. It's probably fair to say the problems that most of you guys are experiencing too. We're just going to fall to this check raise here. Red Rum Jack is, and we'll just look at the note we've got on him, he's a 25 nitfish. I refuse to pay off people who play 20/5. Not doing it, not now, not ever. That may be something because of the sample size. I need to go back and check again in my database just to confirm that he is indeed a very weak type player. Because if I've got that wrong and he isn't a weak type player and I'm making too many folds against him, it's going to be a problem for me. But obviously it's too late now for this session. Well, it's not too late. I could pause the video, of course, but I'm not going to. So yeah, getting back to and talk about the three headings are instincts, motivation, and self-awareness. And we're not going to stop the video until we've talked about all three. So we may as well start at the start, which is instincts. And by that I mean, how often when you've been playing poker have you instinctively wanted to bluff, or you've instinctively wanted to call, or instinctively wanted to fold, usually bluff or fold. Not done it and then thought to yourself afterwards, shit, should have done that. You've seen the result of the hand and you've regretted not taking the course of action that you instinctively wanted to take. Just going to fold the Queen 10 to the rock. I'm sure it happens a lot, or at least a decent amount, if you are one of the types of players this video is aimed at, which is a recreational player or a losing player. It will happen, it will have happened a lot of the time. It'll happen a few times a session, almost undoubtedly. So what's actually happening there, in my experience, and we'll get back to this in a moment, we've decided whether we're going to triple barrel versus the rock. We're probably not going to triple barrel on that card. Probably a spot where I'm just going to give up and hope to hit the river. We don't hit. And he's probably just going to either bet we're going to fold, or we're going to check and lose to his 8 or his pocket 9s or whatever. Would he bet so small with a jack? That is the question I'm asking myself here. What would he bet if he had a jack? The pot was 371. He really bet 1/3 pot. I think he's probably just got like an 8 here, or pocket 6, or pocket 9s. So if that's the case, instinctively I'm saying here, I don't think this guy can call unless he has a jack. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to raise and hopefully represent a jack myself. And we're trying to make him fold 8x here, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, not jack x. If he's got a jack, I do not expect him to. Well, I was trying to make him fold the 10s there. It didn't work. It was pretty obvious what he was doing. He was going for a block bet and then he didn't have the discipline to fold. Which is fine, because now I can just, in future, never bluff raise his obvious block bets. Because it's obviously what he was doing there. He was obviously block betting. or it seemed very obvious to me. So when people are obviously block betting, it's usually a good time to raise as a bluff because they shouldn't call too often. Now, if this character's always going to bet call there with 2 10s, then we have a problem with that strategy. But we can make a very, very easy adjustment by just not doing that against him again. And it's not a huge problem. So there, that's instincts exactly. Instinctively there, I saw his bet size and thought to myself, I need to bluff here. And then had I not gone ahead with the bluff and seen his 2 10s, I would have then kicked myself for thinking, shit, could have made it 4 than 2 10s. And maybe I had the right idea, but my bet size wasn't big enough. We're not continuing with our bluff here because why would we? I'm going to stab twice here now because we have a double gut shot and he checked back the flop. So yeah, that's what when I'm talking about instincts, that is, I'm glad that spot came up. Even though I lost money, I'm glad the spot came up because that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about situations where instinctively you think you know what the right play is, and then your brain talks you into doing something else. And it'll happen all the time. Whereas you'll just get to the river and some guy will snap check to you. You'll be really confident that your top pair shitty kicker's good. But then you'll start thinking, oh, well, what worse hand to call, etc., etc., etc. And then you'll end up not making the bet. And then he'll check, check, and you're showing the best hand, and you'll kick yourself for not making a thin value bet. That happens all the time to lots of people. Instincts will tell them one thing, then they'll start listening to their brain, and their brain will tell them something else, and then they'll ignore the brain. They'll ignore their instincts and go with something that's usually not as powerful. Because what your instincts are telling you usually, your instincts are quite often right when you play poker. It's usually just you recalling situations subconsciously, and they're making you. That's what makes your guts turn, or it makes you. Sometimes when you see like a really bad river, or when a player regularly makes takes a weird line against you, and usually you'll bluff catch against that line, but for some reason against this player, you choose not to. That's your instincts. That's what it is. Your instincts is some kind of recall that you're not even conscious about. If you ignore your instincts too often and go with what your head's telling you instead, you're probably going to find yourself making quite a few mistakes. That's assuming that you're competent in the first place. If you constantly listen to your instincts and your instincts are letting you down, well then please don't just always go with your instincts, obviously. It's quite a dry board, so we're going for a c-bet here. King low. Yeah, there's a flush drawn out there, but king low typically are kind of boards we should be trying to attack, especially when we just have jack high. We got raised, never mind. So yeah, that's instincts. Hopefully we've covered instincts off there. The next one was motivation. And this isn't about people who are demotivated, because most of the people I work with are very motivated. That's why they're coming to me to work with me. They're motivated to improve. They love poker, they enjoy poker, and let me just see what this is. We're going to go for a light 3-bet here. And we're going to do the same here. You see 3-betting the button is super, super profitable. And we want to be trying to put as much pressure on wide range as we can. I think that's one of the biggest improvements I've made to my game lately. Which is adding many, many, many more 3-bets in from the button versus the cutoff with quite a wide range of hands. Very easy c-bet here with our open ender. Turn a pair. He's snap called. Little bit worried about king queen, but I think he can have ace queen a lot. I think he can have queen jack. We see we're in jail too, queen 10, but I think we can definitely go ahead and make Another smallish value bet here, and then probably think about checking back the river if he calls again. If he raises, we have a very easy fold. I mean, we could have argued checking back there was fine too, in terms of a showdown value. Well, I think we can still get value against Ace Queen, specifically. And that's a good card for us. We've now just gone ahead of Queen 10. And now our only question is, do we go for some value on the river? This ex-Orochi character is real nit, so I'm just going to fold the Ace Queen to him. Now the question is, do we go for value? Instinctively, I'm thinking, no. The only hand we can get called by is literally Ace Queen. Maybe Jack Queen. I just don't think there's enough worse hands he's going to call with. So, yeah, Ace Queen, one of them. Wow, we turned a big hand. See, we could have got called by that exact hand, but even then, maybe he folds it some of the time. So, yeah, I think we did find that. We kind of picked up on where we thought he was in the hand, and then we're not always going to get it exactly as right as that. So, you know, I think we did a good job there of identifying what was going on. And we'll get back to the motivation in just a moment. We're already a third of the way through the video, and I've covered a third of the topics. But so motivation. This isn't about people who are demotivated. This is about, is your motivation fueling you correctly? Means I work with lots of players, well not lots, but plenty of players. We're discussing it in the Skype group this morning, who are very motivated to improve at poker, but in my opinion they play too much. They're obsessed with volume, completely obsessed with volume. You know, just they think that if they haven't smashed in a 3,000 hand day, they feel like they haven't worked hard enough. And they're almost too motivated, if that makes sense. They want to play too much to the extent where they're not doing other things in their life that they could and probably should be doing, whether that's socialising enough, whether that might be, and we'll get back to this point in just a moment. Right, so we've been led into, my initial instinct here is we might be in trouble. So I'm not in love with the spot. I'm just going to check here against two people, but obviously we can't fold. But my instinct is telling me we're in trouble here, and now my instinct is telling me get in there. And now look at this very obvious block bet on the river. So we're going to try and make a raise that's going to get called, because this gentleman now, almost certainly, we have the best hand. Now it's just a matter of how much does he call. I think we can go to maybe 650 here. Well, that, as soon as I started typing, it didn't feel right. 750. And just hope that he picked it off with a two-pair type hand, and he didn't. So maybe my instincts were wrong on the turn there, and maybe my hand strength was strong enough to allow me to override my instincts in that spot. So yeah, motivation. The problem I have with motivation isn't that I think players struggle with motivation. I think it's they're over-motivated, too motivated, and they're we're just going to call here in position with Black Labs. And we flopped really quite badly over here on the 10-8. We can't check call. So it's a matter of, do we just check fold and give up, or do we make a C bet? I'm going to make a check fold, I think. And we are going to make a stab at this pot. Because we have backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, two overcards. And it's very likely that we're going to win two folds. And we're just going to fold here to shuffle. Against some players there I would see bet, but shuffle opens. He's not the tightest, not the loosest player in the world. His range for opening is going to be tighter there, so therefore his range for calling is going to be that little bit narrower too. I think it's going to be too much in his range. It's just going to be calling there, and not that many good turn cards for us. So that's why I just elected to just give up. Yep, so motivation, we'll finish the point. The too motivated, they feel they have to grind all the time. People are making comments like, I waste too much time playing stupid video games. Well, you don't. We need to have a social life too. We need to do things other than poker. I always say it to everybody, you can't just have poker dominating your life, especially if you're a recreational player. You need to have other things. People have got families, people have got social lives, they've got friends. There's nothing wrong with just playing a video game for a few hours. Nothing wrong with just watching a DVD. You don't have to fill every piece of spare time you have with poker. It doesn't mean you're lazy if you have an option to play poker or play a video game for an hour and you choose the video game. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you can't succeed at poker. It just means that you haven't got an unhealthy obsession with the game. I mean, I love poker. I mean, I play a lot of poker considering I'm a guy who has a 3/4 time job and has some other interests too. I still love to play poker, maybe 2-3 hours a day. Barely a day goes by where I don't play poker. But what I don't do is I don't force myself to play, and I don't feel bad about not playing. If I've got something I'd rather be doing than playing poker, I just go ahead and do the thing I'd rather be doing. It only becomes an issue if you rely on poker for your income, and then you just constantly skiving, for want of a better word. I'll go for a bet here with our good shot. Yeah, if poker's your job, so you need to go to work every day and work be in your office or whatever it is you grind, and then some days you just don't go to work, then it's an issue. Of course it's an issue because we all have to make a living. If you're a recreational player and for a couple of days you just say to yourself, you know what, fuck it, I don't feel like playing. I've got a new computer game I want to play on, or I just got a box set of these DVDs that I want to watch. Just go ahead and do it. Don't feel bad about it, because if you do constantly force yourself to play poker when you'd rather be doing other things, you will end up resenting the game. Mark my words on that. I'm just going to raise here because we can get tons of value, and we're going to 3-bet our jacks. That's a pretty ugly turn card. Instinctively, I don't like it. So I was going to check back. I didn't notice that he put that silly min bet in. Well, I'm just going to treat it like a check. I'm actually going to check back, and we river the second nuts, which is clearly nice. And now I think I'm just going to go for the lot. If he's got the king of clubs, well, I guess it's congratulations to him. And he folds. And here, against no knowledge of back 8 whatsoever, so guess we're just going to go for a bet fold again on the around 40% pot size. And I think we've pretty much squeaked all the value we can from this. If we were value bet inverted ace 10, the queen's going to get a lot of folds. It's hard to get called by worse again. I think we've got plenty of value for that. We managed to build a $17 pot with hopefully the best hand. And unfortunately we get called by ace queen and he wins. So yeah, it didn't work out for us, but I think we played the hand absolutely fine. We got best part of $8 in the pot with the best hand, and we didn't put a single cent in with the worst hand. You can't do much better than that. Sometimes things just don't work out. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, that's it with motivation. Don't be hard on yourself. Allow yourself to enjoy other parts of your life. Poker, it has a habit of completely consuming pretty much every waking moment and some of your sleeping moments too. We've all had it. We've all had the Tetris effect with poker, or lots of us will have had it. Don't let it get that way for you. I knew I had a problem with poker when I was literally dreaming about poker. Things were happening. It wasn't even exciting poker. I wasn't even dreaming like I was winning the World Series. I was dreaming about shit situations like having check raised on the turn with overpairs, just rubbish like that. When you're becoming consumed by poker, you're an issue and you need to deal with it. So don't go easy on yourself. By all means, work hard, push yourself, but don't make poker the end all be all. It just really isn't. So that's the second issue I wanted to talk about. I think it's very damaging if you do force yourself to play, like I said, just to finish the point. If you do force yourself to play poker, when you don't want to play, when you'd rather be doing something else, you'll end up burning out. You'll end up just hating the game, and long term, it's not good. Short term, it might help you get a few extra dollars in, but long term, it's just going to make you resent the game. You know, isolate here and can afford the bishops in my face because he's just always going to have aces or kings. So the last one's self-awareness. This one's a bit trickier. And we'll play this King Queen first. Question is, do I want to c-bet here? We've got a good shot. We've got a backdoor flush draw. If we c-bet, do we have to call it off against calls? So we c-bet, say $2 here. We're going to have to, aren't we? But as long as we know c-bet calling it off, it's fine. And we just didn't c-bet here multi-way. I mean, obviously against Krista, it's a lot different. We just c-bet fold against Krista. But against calls, we had to take a stack size into account. And if we c-bet, where are we going to call? And yeah, we were. We would be in around 4-1 on the call. And, yeah, I think that's fine. I'll 3-bet fold my 8s here, I think. Against Scabby Queen. I don't know anything about Scabby Queen, but feels like we can get some value pre-flop and probably be in bad shape if he 4-bets us. Just call, I guess. Hope he keeps min betting. Hope he call down. Hope he has a 4. That's pretty much the plan here. Again, I'm going to listen to my instincts. Instinctively, I want to fold here. We're getting close to 7-1 though, so we can't really fold. Instinctively want to fold, but then now is where brain takes over and says, look at the price you're getting. You have to call. The problem is now he's going to bet like $1 on the river, and then we're going to feel stupid when we fold. I just don't think we beat anything. Just going to fold and be a little bit pissed off with the situation. King Queen on the Ace XX drag again. For my money, very easy c-bet. Super dry board like that. And yeah, he might float sometimes. And then look to take it away. We can consider check raising here now. We turn to good shot. If he does just stab with an ace and we check raise, this is got ace jack, we check raise, he's going to have to fold it most of the time. So we're going to check, and if he makes a large bet, we're going to fold. If he makes a less than half pot bet, or around a half pot bet, then we're going to think about raising. But he doesn't, he makes it 2/3 pot. And we're just going to stick to the plan. Yep, so self-awareness. This is the last one. And maybe I've worded it wrong. Self-awareness might not be the exact. Maybe self-appraisal's a better thing to talk about. And it's just, are you in tune with where your game is? Do you have an accurate feel of where you are in relation to your opponents, with your regular opponents? Do you overrate your ability? Are you playing higher than you should do? Do you underrate your ability? Are you playing games where you could be playing higher? Are you scared of moving up? Are you good enough to move up but not doing it? How often do you actually? I'm not going to see that here against somebody with a donkey tag. I'm going to hopefully try and make a hand on the turn. And now he's going to fold. How good are you at accurately assessing where your game currently is, and then using that assessment to put yourself in the right games for you? Because I think a lot of people just aren't. There's a gentleman in our Skype group, he's been, for want of a better word, fucking around at 5-0. In my opinion, too long. He's always had excuses. He's took his shots. He's tilted a little bit, not ran great, and he's never really allowed himself a real shot at 10-0. He has the bankroll to do it because he has a job, so he doesn't need to be playing 5-0. But he's always set, in my opinion, not the best of goals for wanting to move up. It's almost like he just wants to stay in his 5-0 comfort zone when he's clearly better than 5-0. We had a talk with him last week. We moved him up to 10-0, and he's been doing much better. He hasn't really taken off yet. He's been enjoying poker more. He's been more motivated, like we talked about earlier, to play. He's actually got a set of goals now that he can work to, and he's now already talking about, he can feel that 25-0 isn't going to be that far away for him. And this is somebody who, 1 week ago was in a 5-0 comfort zone, setting bad goals to keep himself in that 5-0 comfort zone. That's the third one. Self-awareness. Are you playing too low? Are you sufficiently low to play higher? Are you good enough to play higher? But for whatever reason, just not playing higher? Or the other way around. Do you have a job? And you have a job, you usually have an infinite bankroll for the micros. So are you consistently losing in the games you're playing, but constantly making excuses for why you're losing? Instead of identifying shit, maybe I'm not playing very well, maybe I'm not good enough to play 25-0 right now. I can afford to play it because I earn £400 a week. So I can afford to dust up 100 a week and not care. But are you that guy? Who knows? There's lots of different ways to be where a lack of self-awareness can really, really hurt your progress as a player. So how good are you at accurately identifying where you stand in the poker world? Pronoban is a nit. So we're just going to call with the ace jack suited. It's a spot where usually I would consider 3-betting against most regulars, but not against Pronoban. Now we've been squeezed by somebody I just don't know. I think I want to call here. Feels like I want to call. And we're probably going to be in trouble if he does have ace king or ace queen. Well, clearly we can't fold here. My instincts are saying I want to call here, and then if he bets 8 or more on the turn, 7 or more, probably want to be folding, because he can absolutely see bet that with pocket kings, pocket queens. But it probably doesn't double barrel it with those hands. Now I just want to check back and then maybe think about going with some value on the river if it goes check check. I'm not worried about the flush draws. I don't think he's got flush draws. He's either got an ace that he's pot controlling with, or he's got an underpair. And when he checks the second time, we're just going to go for a really small value bet here now. I hope he picks it up with 2 kings or something. And he did indeed pick us off, and he had 2 queens, which, again, really pleased with how I'm reading the game at the moment. I actually feel like I'm playing my best poker of the year right now. Everything's just coming into line nicely for the winter. I'm feeling good, playing good, or I feel like I'm playing good, and the coaching is just starting to take off nicely again. The lads that I'm working with are working really hard. What to raise here? Look at his bet size. He's left himself with an exact number. This can quite often be a size and tell that people make, where they'll just randomly do it. They won't even realise they're doing it, but they'll just raise an amount and leave themselves with a round number. And usually when they do it, they're folding. So let's see if that's the case here. It might not be, but we do have some backdoors to fall back on if we're wrong, and he does just have a hand. We are kind of putting him in a shove or fold spot here with our sizing, and he does fold. So again, really happy that I went with my instincts and did it because of his what I thought. I don't know which side you can tell because I don't know the player. But when people leave themselves with round numbers, unless it's just some fluke by pressing this button and it's happened to do it to them, it's usually a good indication that they're bet folded. Nothing we can do with this ball. We just missed. We missed really hard, so I'm just going to check fold. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope the fact we've had some themes to discuss during the dull bits have actually made it a much more worthwhile video. I'm going to work really hard on my videos in future and really try and put massive, rather than just turn up, play a session, talk about the session. I want to try and have running themes through them. So if you have anything you'd like to discuss, if any problems with your games, please do reply in the threads. Please do reply on YouTube. And then if enough people mention the same things or something piques my interest, I will absolutely talk about it in my next video. So if you have watched this video all the way to the end, and there's something you'd like to see me discussing or hear me discuss in the next video, please do leave a message on YouTube, leave a message on Reddit, leave a message, whatever you found this video. Just get in touch with me, leave a message for, could you please discuss this, what's your thoughts on this, and I'll be more than happy to cover them off. In fact, I'd be delighted to. You're helping me actually put content into my videos. So for now, we're just going to sit out our next big blinds and call it a night. If any of you guys have reached this far and you've enjoyed what you've heard and you would like to take some sessions with me, my contact details are available under the video. Or alternatively, you can absolutely contact me through Reddit or through my email address. Both Reddit's obviously self-explanatory, it's on Reddit, and my Skype address and I think my email address are both on my website, which is www.reggietypepoker.com. Hope to hear from some of you really soon, or lots of you really soon. That'd be even nice. We're not going to see bet here against true opponents. Try not to see it very often multi-way, particularly in boards that have jacks and tens on them and just played with the queen tags. It's kind of hard for both of these guys to have nothing, not even the draw on that board. I think we're just going to get called way too much. And we're going to get called when we see bet bluffing too often. Let's not see bet bluff. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. If you got this far, hope you enjoyed it and take care. Until the next time, goodbye for now.